Hi everybody, I'm Leah of seejanedrill, and today, well, I'm going to show you how to attach crown molding to a wall and ceiling, okay? A couple tricks of the trade, along with placement and positioning of crown molding, because believe it or not, there's some tricks there as well. So let's get started. So here we are in the room, okay? And this is the wall, that's the ceiling there. And the first thing that we have to do is we have to mark where our studs are. So when we start to nail the crown molding in, we're hitting the studs beneath the drywall, okay? Okay, use a stud finder to locate the studs. If you don't know how to use a stud finder, there's a seejanedrill video on how to use a stud finder on our channel and also on the website. Okay, so we have a stud here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take masking tape, painter's tape, and that's going to indicate where that stud is. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue down the wall, continue to mark the studs. Now the reason I use the tape is because it's easy to see, it's easy to spot from a distance, and after I get finished with the job, I just remove the tape and I don't have to worry about marking the wall. Now that the studs are marked, now it's time to talk about how we're going to place the crown molding against the wall and the ceiling. Now you have to imagine that this is our ceiling here and this is our wall. Okay, I'm going to lay it right up there in that corner there, see? Now what this is called is the spring angle. And it's going to matter, but it's not going to matter that much for us. As we go on, I'm going to explain it to you. But the most important thing is you want to make certain that your crown molding is seated perfectly up against the wall and seated perfectly up against the ceiling. Now you may wonder what side is up, right, and which side is down. Well, I'll tell you, the general rule is the more decorative the edge, like down here, okay, this you would set up against the wall. And then up at the top, where there isn't a lot of detail, you'll want to rest this up against the ceiling. This is another trick. Now here's the thing, I've got my crown molding, right? Just a scrap piece of crown molding. And remember I talked about that spring angle. Well, we're going to place it up against the ceiling, make certain that it seats perfectly, and it does. Now what this is going to do is it's going to give us a reference line. Okay, so I've got it seated really well. I'm just going to mark it here. All right, that's our reference line, but make certain that the most decorative edge is against the wall, and the less decorative edge meets the ceiling. Okay, so I've got my crown molding in place up against the ceiling and the wall. Now I have to nail it, and there's a trick to nailing this so you don't destroy, the fine work that makes, crown molding really pop. And if you use a hammer, well, there's a trick, and I'm going to go in the shop and I'm going to show you that trick. Now I'm going to be using a nail gun, but if you don't have a nail gun, I'm going to show you a trick to get really great results using a hammer. Okay, so the size nail you want to use 6D, that's 2 inches, and it's a finishing nail, okay? So you want to use a finishing nail that looks like this. Now what you want to do is you want to cut the end of the nail off. You want to take the cut nail and you want to install it in the end of a drill. So what I have here is I have my nail, like a drill bit, installed in the end of a cordless drill. So what you do is you use this nail to create pilot holes in the crown molding. I'm going to put a nail right here. I'm going to create a pilot hole and I'm going to drill right through it. Got my nail, and I'll just insert the nail into the pilot hole and then drive the nail. So what this does is it eliminates the possibility of pounding really hard with your hammer and then missing the nail and damaging the crown molding, right? Once you get very close to the wood with the nail head, like we are now, you don't want to continue to hammer because then you're going to take the risk of damaging the wood. So that's when a nail set comes in handy, and that's what this tool is here. So I'm going to just set that on the tip of the nail, and then on just a few taps. There we go, it's set. Okay, so I've secured the crown molding to the wall. Now I'm going to secure it to the ceiling by doing what's called cross nailing. What that means is I'm going to shoot a nail going in this direction, and then I'm going to shoot one in the opposite direction. That's really going to snug the crown molding up against the ceiling in the event that there's no wood there to nail to. So I've got my nailer. I'm just going to tip it that way just a little bit, There we go, that's one. Now I'm going to take the nail gun and I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to tip it just a little bit. And that's what they call cross nailing. So hopefully I showed you a few tricks that you'll find helpful when you do your crown molding job. This is Leah saying, you can do this. See you next time.